Yay! 100,000 subscribers! Whatever. I'm not making another video later. Yay! Rodney. You may recall I had problems installing the belt. A few of you pointed out that the belt should be longer and run on the other side of the tensioner. I think you're right about that. I'm not going to change it now because it works fine, but certainly if I ever need to take the belt off, I'll change the way that works then. One of the shortcomings of Rodney is that there is no way to gauge the vertical feed.
So I've no idea how much I'm feeding down here.
And that's how Rodney came from the factory. And that's how I wanted to show it in the video. However, a previous owner made this graduated dial. It's hand engraved, but they did a really nice job, so I've fitted that. And that completely solves that problem. Another problem is that you're basically going to wreck your lathe every time you use Rodney. It's way too heavy to make a controlled descent. Rangy NZ pointed out that I could mount the riser block first and then screw Rodney down on top. Brilliant. Because I'm not running oil in the gearbox, I can do that. Perfect solution. I was going to construct some overly complicated crane thing. This is much better. The next main video series will be the Pantograph. For those of you who don't know what a Pantograph is, here's some footage of me using it. This machine is actually in perfectly good condition. The main reason it's in 100 pieces is because I had to break it down to move it from my old house to this one. Plus it could do with a repaint. So more than likely, the Pantograph project will end up being a full series of videos. This is a pile of vices. In my old workshop, my vice was mounted on the right hand side of my workbench. In this workshop, that'd mean the vice is jammed into the corner of the room. Instead of just drilling 3 holes on the other side of the workbench, I thought it was a good excuse to find a bigger vice. This is a record number 6. Here's the as purchased condition. The vice has hardly been used, but unfortunately the crustiness was really deep rust pitting. Too much to live with. So a quick repaint became a remachining. And these other 2 small vices, they just happened to be floating around. I figured I may as well repaint them at the same time. My intention was to just replace my number 3 record with this number 6. Nothing fancy, tidy it up and bolt it down. I have been recording some of the process, but I don't know if it'll be enough to make a full video. However, I've been putting clips on Instagram, so if you want to see how the vices turn out, that's probably the best place. So, I recently moved a bunch of stuff, mostly Land Rover parts, out of a small storage unit. One of the other items that was stashed away was this Myford Super 7. This lathe basically needs a full restoration. It works, but it's pretty grotty. It came out of a farmer's shed. Ultimately, I want this to be a perfect lathe, but there's no way I'm contemplating that until the Land Rover is a lot further along. However, it's out of storage and taking up precious space in my workshop, so perhaps I should just clean it up so it can at least be used. That would kind of take away from the restoration project later on, and also I'd need to find another motor for it. So a quick lathe cleanup, which will end up being part 1 of an eventual series, might be the next video you see. I'm not sure yet, but if a Myford video pops out next, now you know why. Now this. These people said, "Hey, do you want a grinder?" I sold out faster than A-Bomb at the air conditioning convention. Australians make these grinders. Australia is here.
Nothing on Barmy jocks.
New Zealand is here. That's relatively close, but normally doesn't mean dick. We like sheep. They like sportsmen who cry when they get caught cheating. For whatever reason, in an inspired trans-Tasman marketing move, they decided to sell these grinders in New Zealand. That might not sound like a big deal for you northerners who can buy everything, but I've looked for belt grinders before, and there were approximately 0 options available. By the way, you might recognise this grinder from this guy. It's the same one he sells in the US. But still, sponsorship stuff, I don't really want to deal with that.
Our warehouse is in Masterton, mate.
What?
Masterton.
Do you mean Auckland?
Nah, Struth, mate. Masterton.
They had me at Masterton. Any international company that sets up their head office in the megatropolis of Masterton is, well, lost. To be fair, Masterton is a famous transport hub. By that I mean famous for being in the way of State Highway 2. Okay, take it easy, Masterton. I'm just kidding around. It's a great place. The cultural hub of the Wairarapa. Famous for its McDonald's and high rates of teenage So, these guys are obviously not a suit-wearing marketing office in Auckland. I am more than happy to be a part of them showing off their products. Now, I need a name for the grinder. I have a nickname for all of my machines, and I'm hoping you guys can help me come up with a good Australian-themed name for this one. For example, I call the Myford Lathe, Lathe. The Drill Press, Drill Press. The Shaper, Shaper. The Land Rover, Land Rover. So I'm thinking Roofer. Let me know your ideas in the comments. Alright, the Land Rover. As you can see, I store my Land Rover hanging from the ceiling. How do you store your Land Rover? To be honest, there's not much to say about the Land Rover. It's as you last saw it. Don't worry, there's no lack of enthusiasm on my part. I'm itching to move forward. But the next operation involves me paying a man or two. And I'm taking the opportunity to clear out other projects while the reserves build up to do that. So Land Rover will continue soon. And I think that's all that needs saying. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.